Like cattle awaiting slaughter, men and women dangled from the rusted hooks upon the dungeon walls. Blood and viscera frosted the dirt and stone. The abundance nearly overwhelmed me, for blood is the life. The room I had entered had been one.
Okay.
For the sadistic pleasure of its engineer. Blood was splattered on every surface.
She'll be starting momentarily, folks. Just getting a few things I might need ready. Maybe some textures or anything I might have forgotten for the model. Ooh, that's loud.
Screaming souls came the perverse laughter of the vampire himself. Amongst Vorador's possessions, I found an ancient chronicle. Long ago, vampires grew in such number so as to capture the attention of the Circle. The Order of the Sarafan, or the Angels of Light as they were called, was instated to counter the menace. Thus, the vampire purge began. In the bowels of that black forest, I found something worse than hell. A vision of what I was becoming.
It's not often I see one of our own, especially one as young and foolish as yourself.
Okay,
Nonetheless,
that's the textures
drink
fine.
deep and indulge your gift.
Gift? Vorador thought my curse a blessing. That we were gods. That mortals offered their blood as sacrifice so that we could enjoy our supernatural powers. And somewhere, deep inside my new self, I knew that he was right. That mortal dreams were prayers. Prayers to us. Begging us for power. I pondered this as the decadent old fool prattled on about his past. A boorish account of how he defeated Malek of the Sarafan and took his vengeance upon the Circle of Nine for supporting the Sarafan Holy War to exterminate us.
Call your dogs! They can feast on your corpses!
Okay, that's all the textures are fine. Yes, I made a mess. I went from my old models onto the new ones. I'm using the old one. The old iron armor I'm pretty much going to keep. Just had to I had to remake it and rescale a little bit now for the new models. You'll see the differences now in a moment.
Since then, our kind has not bothered.
Okay, what have I got open here?
And I suggest you do the same.
Yes, as you can see, I've made quite a few variations of kain over the last few years. It's a nightmare. The more you learn new things and get better at stuff, you just have to keep tweaking things. It's absolute pain. But the here will be our newest model of kain. Normally, I just I would post a couple of pictures on the Facebook page, but I wanted this time to give you a more in-depth look at his appearance. Of course, I'll still post pictures. Don't pictures of them are on the channel. But just tonight, a little glance at him. I recently found the EA's introduced some new techniques for modeling the hair, which has come out a lot better. Still needs a bit of work on the shading, but it's a lot fuller and looks better than it used to. And just for ladies, there's a bit of a Kain booty. You can see the model is a lot more detailed and in depth than the previous one was. There's more details to the muscles, the abs, backs are all got better normal maps all assigned to them.
Well, as if you knew what eternity was. Grovel before your true master.
And the face might look a little bland, but hopefully once my animator gets all sorted and once I pass these models on to him, he should be able to tweak up a lot. In fact, let's see what we can do. Some of the bones here to give you an idea. Teeth, lips, where's the jawbone? There it is. So, yep.
Avernus consumed itself before my eyes. There seemed no easy
There's
entry to the hell laid out before me. Perhaps there was a way
also included the fangs. you gotta keep the fangs. The eyes, I still have to texture the eyes a wee bit more, give them a bit more specular texture. The eyebrows look terrible, but it was basically around the best I could get with a trying to. This was actually the first model that I've completely just made up from basically a base mesh and just retextured, modeled, done everything all basically from whole cloth. The original ones I used to use, like the fuse for the old models. As you can see, that's the old versions. I'd basically pick a pre-made model from the Adobe Fuse program, which does pretty good models. I'll still use it for a lot of the like non-essential characters, the NPCs, the villagers, stuff like that there, because it makes pretty good low poly models. And in the wear mode, you'll see it's pretty good. It's around 7. Depending on the details of the models, it could have about anywhere between like 7 to 8K of polygons for the fuse models, which is pretty good. But this new one here is, as you can see, quite significantly a bit higher. The base model itself is. I tried to keep it around the guts of maybe like 20K polygons for this version. Figured newer graphics cards these days can they can match the strength needed for that. Considering what, like the Batman model in Arkham is like what, 40,000 polygons, I think last I heard. 40,000, something like that. So that was just for the one character, so it's not too drastic. As you can see, that's the base model. I didn't worry too much about the skin being very pale, because like it was this. Although this is what the base model will look like for my animator to make up the like animations and stuff, and all, he'll need the whole body. But the armor models will basically hide all of the basically everything except for the hands and the head. So all of this will be removed once the armor goes on. That way, then you're not adding on the polygons of the model plus then the polygons from the armor, which would just make it way too high. So you just kind of replace one for the other, while still which would still keep it around the somewhere in the 20k mark of polygons. Much better for performance anyway. As you can see, so I was even saying the hair texture there looks looks a bit better. Looks a bit it's shaded a bit better, and because you can see as in the old one here in the first view, you can see these wee patches of transparency where it just isn't sitting right at all. As you go the whole way around, you see just like the transparency kind of follows it just in every direction. You can just keep seeing underneath, and from the back it just, you can basically see almost right through it, which in these wee patches and strips you can see right from the back, which I didn't want because obviously you're going to be seeing the back of Kain from quite a bit because no third person perspective. So at least in this version it's a bit more fuller. So as you can see just from the back you can't really see any like no strips or any kind of real transparency to it. Like, it makes it look a bit better, I think. The last it took a little while to get this completed because I've basically been doing this off and on with all this nonsense with the isolations and viruses and stuff, and issues with working such a bit. It had to go on the back burner for a little while there. I like that wee part there where I tried to add like a few wee vein textures around the hands and the neck, where it'll be not too much really stand out, but give you the idea like of just the freshly dead fledgling. Apologies folks, it's 3 in the morning. Yeah, I think we'll close his mouth again.
They worshipped him, even in his weakness. I wondered what Willendorf would do when Ottmar's death finally arrived.
And then what I was also been working on as well, like I just saw, was also the armor. So this is the I haven't imported all my textures yet. This whole thing is basically this like my test project. The full one, the one I collaborate with the rest of the team, it also has to be moved over there. But this is just kind of like a test run. I was importing the model, testing the animations and the movements to make sure everything works before I put it over there and finalize everything. Just to avoid any kind of crashes, because sometimes a lot of my stuff kind of works one against the other, so it can sometimes cause some issues and crashes. So I tend to always do a wee bit of testing first on another version. As you can see, racers, I probably should have made them a bit thicker, but it's not too bad. Probably could have been a bit thicker, but it's not really drastic. Might increase the normal map on that a wee bit more, just to add a wee bit more of the metal texture that's like the same as the shoulder pads. And of course the shoulder pads themselves have the nice little emblem of Kain's. I'd like to say it's his family crest, for his human family at least. I'm tempting the idea now with whenever he's in like the prelude to the game, the way you're playing it's like human Kain, he's in the white armor. I'm tempted to have like these colors will be in the white armor, and then maybe the gold of the like family crest as well. But obviously then just in his new vampire armor it would be like semi-erased, but just turned completely black along with the magic of the rest of the armor. once again, I've done away with the the steel knickers had to go.
Ah, yes, the vampire. Mobius told me.
The trousers here, I'm still deciding on what color to make these. I went for a more style of for his iron armor. I kind of went with the idea of, like, you know, he's traveling from Corrigan to the Sagster, or whatever the hell the town's called that he's assassinated in. So he basically would be in a kind of mixture of clothing and armor for the case of the travel. So it was kind of mixture. I wanted to have it then instead of just, you know, full chainmail suit, maybe just like the chainmail shirt, you know, the breastplates, shin pads, you know, just kind of like travel armor type of thing. But the pants, I'm still deciding on the texture. Plus, it has to be scaled down a wee bit more, so it's not quite so drastic looking. I think maybe like a wee brown and more like a wee tan color then for the laces, because just black leather with the black shin guards just. But clashes a bit too much. It's not too bad. It came out pretty well. I basically had to rescale the whole thing up. Well, actually, I had to remake the whole thing just because the original model was just a. As you can see, it was quite a bit. It was quite a bit thinner when you see them just. Let's line them up here. Plus their stances were completely different. So he's in the T pose, one's in the A pose, so that messed up the old armor. So it had to be obviously you can just reshuffle that, you know, just put them in the textures, but then you'd have to scale up the entire model, and scaling up that then would take away a lot of details and cause issues with some of it. So I had to do away with all that and just remade the whole armor set. You can see the shoulders and the arms are significantly larger on this model as opposed to the older one. The pecs are, whereas that's basically straight, you know, it's got more of like a curve to it here, to that size. I wanted to make him a bit more macho. Our macho man. I'm thinking maybe even think of like a instead of like leather, might do like a brown fabric of trousers with a lace at the front. Might go a bit better, maybe something similar to like the belt itself.
That sigil on his forehead, the Oracle of Norskoth, was in fact the time streamer Mobius, and I had followed his advice. How much of my quest was of his design?
I'll give you some chance here. We'll see it in action. Don't worry about that flickering the lights. That's just some of the outside light blending in through some of the textures, because I haven't double-sided a lot of them to kind of block all that out. That'll be fixed later on. Can be a little jarring though. You can see now with the lighting, you can see the abs are much more defined. The pecs, the arm muscles are much better defined. The shoulders too. I wanted them to look, you know, just a bit more high quality. Let's see, did I get the armor sets right here? As always, though, ignore them. Them little red lines will be in the final. That's just my. They're basically my collision detectors, so I can make sure that it's hitting the right things. See if you hit the wall here. Obviously, it won't be fire when you hit things in the game. It'll be like little flash sparks, like steel on metal and steel on steel type of thing, depending on what you're hitting. That'll all be fixed later on. That was being tested out, just to make sure that whatever you're, some things you collide with, some things you don't. As you can see, it just passes right through the pickups.
You betrayed us, Mortanius. You had Kain killed and turned him into a monster.
Yeah, let's test the
upon
the wolf form here, because a lot of times I always had crashes with this when I tried this this whole new skeleton rig. So let's try this and test. Fingers crossed we get no crashes.
We don't exist for it. Our powers will save or
Good, it goes into the wolf form. Does it come out of it again? Yes, it does. Happy days.
Then I shall die.
As you can see, it's the whole new IK system. Limbs will move properly with the steps. Apology for the mic quality. I do have a better mic. I need to get a proper stand for it, which I just unfortunately haven't been able to do at the minute with this. With the current climates. Yeah, I think I might upgrade the size of the sword a wee bit. It might need to be a wee bit bigger, I think, with this new model.
I admire your cunning, but you will not escape your fate.
Nay, I will embrace it, but my death will leave one more to take.
Yeah, now we'll
Finish me.
maybe we'll try, if I can remember how to do it. Now it's been quite a while since I've actually had to do it. Do a wee bit of texturing on the hair, so you can see how the actual physics things work in this. So the first thing we have to do is make a physics asset.
I serve no one.
Indeed, such narrow vision. Don't you see? My silence barrier and its calculated repercussions.
That about 5.
In my theater of ground in yours. You are the tragic hero. Play on, little vampire. Play on.
Fay Victus!
Okay, obviously we can delete quite a lot of these.
The only survivor of the Circle of Nine. At my whim, the world will be healed.
A lot of times I would just delete these all at once, but sometimes that can lead to crashes as well, so I just do it individually here and might avoid that. See if any of them do crash, then I'll know which ones actually cause it.
I realized that Vorador was correct. We are gods. Dark gods. And it is our duty to thin the herd.
Okay, the hands I think won't really make much of a difference down there, so we won't worry too much about them. What are we left with now? The head one. What these basically are is they are like little bubbles of collision. The detecting, as you can see, just collision capsules. Since the mesh itself, technically, without any of this kind of programming, everything would just pass right through it. The models would pass through floors and stuff like that there. So this is a way of programming actual collision into the models so they know what they're doing.
At the dawn of the Empire, I have served him a millennium.
Quite a lot of face work in there
Over
too.
time, we became less human and more divine. Kain would enter the state of change and emerge with a new gift.
So one downside of the facial rigs is it adds a lot of
Some years after
stuff to that as well. It could cause
our evolution would follow.
quite a bit more of extra work.
Until I had the honor of surpassing my lord.
I think there is actually like facial morph things in these for things that don't have like facial rigs. There's a way of like then having including facial morphs where the face will actually move with it. Now I'm still testing all of that. It could be handy instead of having to go through all the issues of rigging up the facial models and stuff like. But I was figuring I better do that in case my My animator needed it. I won't worry too much about the fingers now.
There was only one possible outcome.
Spines.
Eternal damnation. I, Raziel, was to suffer the fate of traitors and weaklings, to burn forever in the bowels of the lake of the dead. Cast him in.
Okay, we'll start with this one, we'll scale it down.
Tumbling, burning with white-hot fire, I plunged into the depths of the abyss. Unspeakable pain, relentless agony. Time ceased to exist.
As you can see, it's kind of like a way of
torture and a deepening hatred of the hypocrisy that damned me to this hell.
kind of put it in positions for the proper places of where it'll collide with the body and the hair.
Eternity passed, and my torment receded, bringing me
So
back
maybe
from
right
the
there.
precipice of madness.
Do we have to
The
widen the
descent
bit
had
maybe?
destroyed me, and yet I lived.
That should be fine. Looks sticking out. It's about reasonable for that one. What's the next one? One for the neck. That about there, since his neck is quite a bit thicker in this model, I'll lengthen it a bit.
What pitiful form is this that I have come to inhabit? Death would be a release.
Make it a wee bit fatter.
You did not survive.
Tend to usually make them a wee bit fatter, so they stick outside the model a wee bit. It helps with the collision to have them just like slightly just outside the model.
With this existence.
The choice is not yours.
Okay, this is the spine.
You are reborn. The birth of one of Kain's abominations traps the essence of life. It is this soul that animates the corpse you lived in. And that, Raziel, is the demise of Nazgûl. There is no balance. The souls of the dead remain trapped. I cannot spin them in the wheel of fate. They cannot complete their destiny.
See, roughly about like that. That should stop it.
Redeem yourself.
Going through the back. Maybe actually a wee bit more because the armor's a wee bit thicker too. So probably about there.
Settle your dispute with Kain. Destroy him and your brethren. Free their souls and let the wheel of fate churn again. Use your hatred to read their souls.
And then 2 shorter ones.
Become my soul reaver, my angel of death. You are weak. You must feed.
The old hunger has left me. I have no desire for blood.
You are changed.
Say maybe roughly about there for that one.
A deeper need. You have become a devourer of souls.
Didn't get them all.
Sustain your strength. You must hunt the lost spirits of the underworld and consume the souls of your enemies. These portals are your conduit between the spectral and material realms. With their aid, you may gather matter and will yourself to become manifest in the physical world. This is taxing, however. Your strength must first be fully restored. You require no conduit to return to this
Okay.
world. You may abandon
raise them
your
up a bit.
physical body at any time.
Let's see. Right there.
Sustain
Tilt
your
them a wee bit
strength
more.
to prolong your manifestation in the physical world. If you fail to feed or absorb too many wounds, this fragile matter will dissolve.
What are these creatures?
Do you not recognize them? They are the children of your brother, Duma.
That's impossible.
There we go.
Scuttling beasts could not be kin of our high.
Obviously I can tweak this up more detailed later on if I really need to, but this is just a wee quick showing. So we'll rename that one now.
I knew my opponent's
Let's call it the
suffered them myself. Physical wounds are fleeting.
Hurricane Physics. Hurricane. Okay, I'll stop joking. Right, so we go back in into the model. And if I remember right, then we activate the cloth paint. No, actually we don't activate that yet. We right click on this, click clothing data. Yes, we'll keep it that name.
Reduced to ruin. Beyond these walls,
and we called it Kain Herd, didn't we?
How humble it now appeared, collapsing into the dust of its former magnificence. And yet, I had only just emerged.
Oh, no, it was her.
The instant between my execution and resurrection.
There it is. That's the one we just made. What this basically does is that it assigns those physics capsules then to work with this physics system then for the her, so it'll only really affect the areas in which the capsules are coordinated. Sometimes if you're doing stuff like clothes and big dresses and all, you'd have to do like the whole lower body, each leg and foot and limb and such now, whereas this is just the head for the her, really, so you just basically have it collide with the head, neck and shoulders basically. So we collect that. We activate clothing. Actually, we don't activate it yet.
This, at least, had remained constant.
Or do we?
The endlessly
yes, we do.
vortex of the abyss.
Okay, as you can see, then it turns the
womb of my rebirth.
Turns the mesh pink, and then you get this wee. Hold on, now turn off the.
Landscape had changed. These cliffs gave me my
isolate just the her itself. It'll make it easier.
Was to the west. I was anxious to see how my
fall off 30.
during the centuries of my
Strength full.
Utter desolation. My once proud kin wiped from this world.
Okay, now we just paint the parts we want to be moving about. Can we just paint them in?
Charnel house bore the unmistakable marks of Melchiah's class.
This used to be a lot harder to do back in the day with the
descendants of my high-born
increase the size a wee bit, I think.
Were they so debased as to recruit fledglings from the desiccated corpses here interred?
You used to have to use like outside programs for this, like the NVIDIA, the other NVIDIA systems where they like integrated this in with the system. We'd have to use the other separate programs for that there. I think it was like Plex or Flex or something. I forget the name of it off the top of me. Excuse me. I forget the name of it off the top of my head. It used to be an absolute nightmare because you basically have to import your models into that program. Then you would have to basically do similar to this there, but you'd have to set up different collision points and the right turn axes and such. It was it was a lot longer of a process back basically.
Show yourself, creature.
And then you'd then once you finished in the other program, then you would have to as well. You would do all the nonsense you needed to do in there. Then you, of course, you have to upload it then again in Unreal. Do all this, attach the basically the material, the hair physics you've made, attach it to the hair mesh and see if it worked. A lot of times though, it would end up just having your model like just collapse down to the floor or to the base root, and it would be an absolute nightmare to get wrong, because if you did get it wrong then you'd have to just redo everything all over again multiple times. Where this way now is a lot easier, where you can just tweak it this way. Strength will go to 8.3.
Empire upon an upstart inheritance.
So there's like a little bit of a
Enough riddles. What are you
blend
saying?
between the
You
strengths.
are the last to die.
I never bothered going up like the whole way or
Where
adding
can I find Cain?
all the physics to the whole thing because I like just having the whole back and just slick back and stays that way.
Sees fit, not when commanded. Unreleased.
There like that.
You have done well, Raziel.
Am I reduced to this? A ghoul? A fratricide?
Elevated, Raziel, not reduced. Consuming Melchiah's soul has endowed you with a new gift. Insubstantial barriers such as these are no impediment to you in the spectral realm.
Okay, that
Will
shouldn't be too
yourself
bad.
pass
Let's
through, and you shall.
Raziel,
deactivate that a moment.
the Abyss has been unkind.
And
I am your creation, Cain.
probably isolate a second.
As before, you criticize your own work.
Click on that.
What have you done with my
Right
plan,
click.
degenerate? You have no
And
right.
reapply it.
What I have made, I can also destroy, child.
There we go.
Damn you, Cain! You are not God!
Oh, wait, what's
This
that?
act of genocide is unconscionable! Conscience? You dare to speak to me of conscience? Only when you have
Got
felt
one
the
little
full gravity of choice.
strand
should
that's
you
gone a
dare
bit too
question
far
my
down.
judgment. Your life's span is a flicker compared to the mass of doubt and regret that I have borne since Mortanius first turned me from the light. To know that the fate
Somewhere
of the world
around this area
lies
here. Let's take a
dependent
wee,
on the advisedness of my every
wee look
deed.
again.
Can you even begin to conceive what action you would take in my position?
I would choose integrity, Cain.
Look around you, Raziel. See what has become of our empire. Witness the end of an age. The clans scattered to the corners of Nosgoth. This place has outlasted its usefulness. As have you.
Isolate this again.
The Soul Reaver, Cain's ancient blade, older than any of us and 1,000 times more deadly. The legends claimed that the blade was possessed and thrived by devouring the souls of its victims. For all our bravado, we knew what it
Take
meant.
out the actual hair
Killing
material
through
a
the
second.
Soul
Will make
Reaver.
this a bit easier, I think.
It meant you were dead.
The blade is vanquished. So it unfolds. And we are a step closer to our destinies.
Obviously then there's all the settings we can check, the
Glint of satisfaction in
gravity
realizing
levels and
the
the
Soul Reaver was destroyed.
how heavy the hair will appear and
Didn't
not appear to be.
understand the game that Kain was playing, but I knew the finishing move.
Let's see if that fixed it.
From this moment and ever afterward,
The
you and this blade are
hair
inextricably
texture back
bound.
on.
Soul Reaver and Weaver of Souls.
Deactivate
Your
that.
destinies are intertwined. By
Flying
destroying the
close.
sword, you have liberated it from its corporeal
Oh, it's still there.
and restored it to its true form.
Look,
A wraith.
won't bore you all by just
Unbound.
watching me paint that all night.
No longer a physical blade. It can only manifest
Take away
itself
the
in the material
selection.
realm when your strength is fully restored.
Choose a
Once
bone again.
manifest, it will sustain you.
What are you, little soul? Another
go.
of
We'll go with the
Kain's
neck.
creatures come to taunt this bound
We'll
spectre.
turn the head.
I did not intend to disturb your rest.
As you can see then that's the
Rest.
it's basically the procedure for her physics. Obviously I'll increase the
Flesh and bones are required
needs
to
maybe a
recline.
bit more up to this way.
No, child. All I may do is watch.
Bit better
And
blending.
remember, ceaselessly conscious as this wretched world's history unfurls. Ghastly past, insufferable future, are they one and the same? Am I always here?
How have you come to haunt
Let's
these
see how it
lands?
works in the game itself.
Cain refused the sacrifice.
Yeah, that one wee tassel needs to be
Balance, corrupted to its core, stands as a monument to his blind
needs to be
ambition.
fixed in place. Just like that one little random strand there,
Bind
just
me here,
dangling
my
down the
prison
back.
and eternal home, thanks to the avarice of your master Cain.
Just a wee bit higher on the sides and a wee bit
Then we share a
A
common
bit more of a
foe,
blend into
Raziel.
the back and it should work pretty well.
Return
Once I
here
fix
when
that
you have
tassel
learned.
then.
Ariel remembers what others have forgotten.
See how it looks with the armor on. Yeah, should have the collision maybe a wee bit higher as well to mix in with the armor. Especially around the back and shoulders there.
The prodigal son. There is no returning for you, Raziel.
Zephan, your visage becomes you.
Yeah, it needs a wee bit more of a blending at the
Appropriate reflection of your soul.
just a wee bit higher.
You are not his handsome Raziel anymore. His precious firstborn son turned betrayer. You have missed so many changes, little Raziel. Look around you. See how the human's weapon of destruction has become my home. Indeed, my body. A cocoon.
Yeah, I'll fix the rest of her I think off screen just to so as not to bore everyone. This has already gone quite a bit longer than I probably expected it would.
From the shadows to devour a victim already ensnared in your cowardly trap.
Yes, this as you can see now with this
The mistake of leaving me unbound.
with this model now
You who must succumb.
more or less finished and completed now. I can start. I'll pass these models on to my animator then for some better animations.
I warn you.
Then I will start working on some of our
Stature has grown, so it is matched by my
some of the armor sets were made up by our concept artist.
forward morsel.
Don't know how many of them you've all seen, but they're absolutely stellar. There was the there was one of them there, the Chaos armor. So all these will be they'll be worked on shortly now over time. Oh, the boneless one. It's basically my personal favorite of our artist designs. Done an absolutely stellar job on that there. I can't wait to start working on that one. And of course we'll have the Wraith armor, Flesh armor. They'll all be tweaked up and still be worked on. Plus then we've got designs coming up for the Beguile and his nobility disguise spells as well, so all that's still all being worked on, but that's all being that'll all be sorted now that I've got the actual model itself rigged up properly. Wouldn't believe how long these riggings and animations can take. It can be an absolute nightmare at times.
Once impenetrably sealed.
The worst area too is around the waistline for belts. So when you rig a belt now, you always have to make sure that the belt moves the right proper way. It's an absolute nightmare to get right.
The Seraphin warrior priests waged a merciless war against the vampire tribes.
See how well did it
emboldened by righteousness, they committed unspeakable and indiscriminate acts of violence.
It works.
Massacring fledglings and ancients alike.
It moves pretty well.
Decimated entire bloodlines in mere decades.
I know this
now their husks lay.
I'll be red portion along the bottom. I'm also going to add a
as I pulled the stone free, a sigh of sepulchral
this wee portion here. I know from the back there, you kind of see it like stretching along with the limbs as the legs move and such, but that won't affect it once I'm finished, because I plan to add like a wee the same kind of physics that was added to her. I'll also add to this here to kind of give it like a moving material. Obviously it won't be as like free flowing as the hair is, because it'll be a wee bit heavier because it's chainmail, but it'll also be attached by physics, so it won't really attach and move that way, but the same way from the character as well. That'll solve that issue. I wanted to have it like a wee bit,
these crypts,
a bit of movement to it.
Caskets of Seraphin saints, bearing my brother's names and my own. The irony.
Yeah, I think the chest probably needs a wee bit more of the
rushed in on me with the crushing
detail map increased a wee bit as well.
Were my hands not as bloody as these? Worse.
Treasures, I still need to just sign on an actual design of either maybe like brown cloth, brown leather, and then the laces. Something a bit more color coordinated than just black on black. But that's basically the gist of how to do the physics. You make up the wee collision capsules here into the clay to the portions of the mesh that you wanted to hit. Once they're made up, then you go into the model. Basically, then just paint which sections you want to be affected, which sides you don't, and then you apply it. And basically, it's all set and sorted. In fact, I don't even think I'll even bother fixing up the hair in this one here now, because like I said, this is all just my this is basically my tester project where I bring everything in and test it such, and all. Once it's all in, so far we had no crashes, so everything seems to be working fine now. So I'll be, after work tomorrow, I'll start implementing this again over on the proper version that the rest of the team will all be using.
Do you prosper on the scraps he casts you?
Your insults will
And there's some of the
the agonies of your demise.
Kain killed me once.
there's the ability to run. A lot of people have said, no, why can't he run? So I'm still tinkering on with it. But as you can see, there's a bit of an implementation of it. Yes, I'll let the ladies watch Kain run in his naked ass. Another movement type I'm kind of teasing is the it's kind of like the locking the camera behind Kain.
The Soul Reaver is also thus enhanced. You may focus and project an orb of kinetic.
It's sort of like this here, where the camera will be locked behind him, as you can see. Then his head will move as you look around. This might be the actual final camera angle, and then once I get it all set and sorted, and all the bugs and everything sorted, because you see, as you turn your head only a certain way, then the rest of your body will move with it. The movement is pretty free flowing as well. Instead of actually turning around, you actually do you go in reverse. It's all moving and walking. Oh, wee bit of a As you can see there, just above his lower back there, just above his buttocks, there's a bit of a
Rahab, you have adapted well to your environment.
bit of a dead spot between the animations, between where the legs start and the torso begins. But then again, you won't even really see that. Like I said, all this entire mesh except for his head and hands is basically going to be it's going to be removed once his armor's on. How is it actually look once the armor is on? Is it as noticeable? Let's take a look here. Yeah, there's a
I will indeed. But tell me,
there's a wee bit of clipping. I'll have to sort that out. Fix the blending a little.
Seraphan Rahab, the antithesis of all we ever believed.
Does it matter? We were lost.
It's not too. That's too.
Saved us.
It's not too drastic.
From what?
From ourselves.
Maybe even just done it on various armors, just thicken up the armor a bit more, and wouldn't even be any clipping at all. Yeah, that gives you the gist of just how the hair and the armor and everything is all going to work. Our dead Kain. Nope. He's alive. And he's dead. And he's up. I love that we
You have overcome your former vulnerability to water's touch.
There's also a crouching animation, but I don't know if I've got that.
Enabling you to swim to areas
I don't think I've even got that activated yet.
your reach.
My brother Dumas.
Take a little look here
Powerful
at the
warrior in
movement.
life. He would have burned with shame to have me find him here like a stuck pig.
Unbound at last. I thank you, brother.
Your thanks are premature, Dumas. I have not forgotten whose hands bore me into the abyss.
It may even be in the other system that the crouching is available. I tried to
Not even Kain.
basically avoid it in my system.
Even the strongest
See,
vampire.
crouching. I'll see if I did
We shall test your
get it working. 'Cause I didn't really plan on using it.
Bloodthirst has been superseded by an even darker hunger. I will consume.
Let's see if we
your
can.
soul when this day is done.
No, we can. You could think of that. Maybe it's like a little sneaking up on people for stealth kills. As you see, it's fast moving, but you can see like his head kind of just moves along with his with the turning of his body, which all looks very well. You'd almost have that. Maybe it's like in his mist form, you know. That's why he like creeps up on people or something. Who knows? We'll work that out. We can always work that out later on. But yeah, that's pretty much I think where I'll end it. As you can see, that's the way the system's going to be. Just wanted to. I'll post a couple more pictures of the armor and such and all on the page tomorrow. And I'll upload this video as well to YouTube so you can watch it again and see anything you might have missed. Hope you all enjoyed the stream. We got to see a little more of the in-depth details of what goes on with the modeling. And I'll be continuing on with all this chaos going around. And I will try and get my better mic sorted once I can afford to get the
played the role of a doddering soothsayer,
get a proper mic handle and such when all this chaos is over.
dispensing enigmatic predictions to gullible
One last time, and I'll let you see the difference between the old model
was Mobius the Time Streamer,
and the new one.
the Circle of Nine, a ruthless manipulator with the power to bend time.
Like I said, I know the body probably looks a bit pale and white, but I didn't really pay much attention to the rest of the body. It was more like just the face. You can see the wee tinges of pink around the forehead and the cheeks and such. The face was where I was really, interested in, because like I said, the entire rest of the body is going to be basically gone. He'll basically be walking around with like a head and hands and the boots. That's basically it. All this, the rest of his torso here will all be gone, because as you'll see here, it's
this I deduced
quite a bit of a
the Time Streamer.
heavier polygon count. I think it's like
Not at all the impressive figure.
bulk of it was in the head.
Boasted exploits.
Obviously, 'cause that's where a lot more of the details are, but the body has also take up like a good.
Image radiated a certain
Let's say it's around 15,000 polygons or so. Somewhere between like 16,000 polygons, which once that's all gone, and the armor will be on over the top of it, then taking the place of it. So the model will still be around the 20,000 polygon count, just to keep the performance working and accurate.
my arrival in this miserable
Let's
age.
see.
What trickery is this?
It is no illusion, Raziel, but a glimpse into the currents of time itself.
I'll let you see a wee quick peek at our new sky system I also got my hands on. As you see, the day and night cycle is quite fast a minute, because I was doing tests on weather systems and lighting systems. But the sky blends. It blends a lot better in this version. As you can see, there's the wee rain system I was testing to make sure it was working. The clouds darken, blend, the stars come out.
Impossible. This must be one of Kain's
Moonlight.
deceptions.
It was better to see, because during the night then the lighting will be better at night as well. Another issue I done was my original sky I had was also like it was very performance heavy. This entire texture. Let's see if I can go to
Await me moments from now.
shader complexity. Give it a second here to load itself. Ooh, it's in the red again. Oh no, this wasn't even my.
This cannot be.
I don't think this even was my old one.
Portend. Kain must think me credulous to suffer these lies.
This is still the old sky system. Yes, this is the old sky system. Means that they're going on about the better lighting and textures, and this isn't even the right one. I keep forgetting. Like this is my. I was so used to working on this version. This was my. This is the version I always worked on until I got the rest of the team together.
Conjuration of my mind, or an echo of future events.
I was always working on this version. As you can see, I've lost a lot of textures because I moved a lot of them over to the other version where the rest of the team will be working on it. So I wanted them to have a lot of the textures and models plans.
I must say I'm disappointed.
But as you can see with the
I'm
go back to the game here with the shader complexity, as you can see it's completely red.
Did it trouble you?
Which, as you can see, then just by sheer performance, it's not like hugely up towards the whites and all of the pinks and such, which are really heavy performance heavy. But this is in the red, whereas my new system is down here in the greens, so it is quite a much better performance dip, or jump I should say, because obviously if things are in the green, green to dark greens is fine, that's all no good shader optimizing. Red is when you start getting into the slippy, and then when it goes obviously then the pinks and purples and whites, that's when it gets really bad. But this one is, the new one is just between the greens and the reds, so it works pretty well. But I'll do another video on that another night. This has gone on quite a bit longer than I expected. But like I said, this will give you an idea of what is being viewed. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. As always, follow my Twitch channel, that will take you to my YouTubes, where you can see all these videos when they're uploaded. You can like and follow, which is always appreciated. And in my Twitch page there is also a option for donations if you wish to support the project. Big or small, any amount is always appreciated and all goes towards the project. Thank you again, and I will see you all in the next stream. Good night.
For those patient enough to look